We're gonna have 3 segments here. So all you need is a resistance band, medium to low tension, a booty band, and some kind of stool to start. At the last segment, you could add weight eventually, but we're just gonna start with some body weight versions of the exercises. For the first segment, I want you to find a stool or a bench anywhere where when you're sitting, your legs are at roughly 90 degrees. We're gonna take the resistance band, we're gonna put it around one knee, loop it around your back, and then get the other leg in. So it might be a little bit uncomfortable. You might need to shift around to get into the right place. I want the band pretty much right where my pants sit. From here, this is a banded hip stretch. All we're gonna do is we're gonna let the band do all the work. It's gonna actively pull your hips forward, and it's gonna get that natural arch in your lower back. So this is the first exercise. This is the first stretch. You're just gonna sit here, let the band do the work for at least a minute. After the minute is done, now we're gonna go into banded hip tilts. So where that band is pushing, where your pants sit, you're gonna actively push your lower back into it. So it's not a huge movement. All I'm doing is that I'm tilting my hips backwards into the band. The band is pushing me forward, getting that arch in my lower back, and I wanna push back against it. Now it's not a big movement. I don't want you to curve your entire back. What helps me sometimes when I feel disconnected from it, I put my hands on my hips and I just think about my hips as a bowl of water, and I'm just tilting the bowl just enough that a little bit spills out and then tilting it back forward. So tilt and come back. So for this first segment, you're gonna sit in the banded stretch for at least 1 minute, letting the band push your hips forward. The second part, the banded hip tilts, we're gonna do 2 to 3 sets of 20. I want you to feel a little bit of a pump in the lower back, or at least as if the muscles have been worked. To get out of this stretch, all you have to do is just straighten one knee. I always hold the band just in case. It's not gonna fling out and hit you in the face, but better safe than sorry. Straight out the knee, and boom, you're out of it. Now we're gonna go into the booty band walks. So grab your booty band, get yourself situated inside. So the band is either right above your knees or right below your knees. Don't put it directly on your knees. We're gonna use the exact same cue that we had there. We're gonna have that curve in our lower back, and we're not just gonna bend at our knees. I want you to push that butt back. So I want you to load up your hips and glutes first, and then you're gonna go into the walks. So just to show you from the front angle, the main thing we also want to look at is that we're making sure that we're using our hips, we're using our glutes for these walks. I see a lot of people do this, letting their knees collapse. No bueno. So I'm pushing my butt back, I'm loading up my hips and glutes, and I'm pushing out with my knees. My knees stay in line with my ankles. They never collapse inwards. They never drive too far out, right in line with my ankles and my feet. Now, you could do 10 steps one way, 10 steps the other way. I just prefer to do 1 step, meet the feet, 1 step, meet the feet. Very beneficial if you're lacking some room. So for the booty band walks, you have the option of doing 2 to 3 sets of either 30-second intervals or sets of 10 to 20 repetitions. All right, and for this last segment, like I said, you could add weight to this, but we're gonna start with just body weight. We're gonna do Romanian deadlifts, hamstring-focused Romanian deadlifts, and elevated split squats. So for my Romanian deadlifts, I want soft knees, and what that means is that my knees aren't locked out. They just have a little bit of a bend to them. I wanna make sure I have that arch in my lower back. I'm tilting my hips forward, and from here, I'm pushing my butt back and up towards the ceiling as I keep my chest up. So this is gonna really focus on the hamstrings. This is where I start feeling the hamstring stretch here, as opposed to if I'm not tilting my butt, if I'm not putting the hamstrings in a pre-stretched position, I could go all the way down to here until I feel a stretch. So we wanna make sure that we're feeling the hamstrings, so tilt those hips forward, a little bit of an arch in your back, not crazy exaggerated. Push your butt back and up towards the ceiling as you keep your chest up, kind of like a banana boat, and then come back up. So Romanian deadlifts like that. Feel the hamstrings. The second part of this is an elevated split squat. So start with a surface that's at least a foot high. What we're going to focus on is this back leg. So my back heel is elevated. I'm lunging forward, not down. I'm lunging forward, and I'm thinking about keeping this back leg straight to get a really good stretch through my hip flexor. So this is where I'm starting to feel a good stretch in my hip flexor. I'm keeping my chest up. If this is a new exercise to you, have something to hold on to the side. I don't want you worrying about the balance. I want you focusing on this exercise to start. Come as far low as you can, keeping that back leg straight. I think about constantly driving my back heel away from me and then coming back up. For the breathing, deep breath at the top, long exhale as you go through the exercise here. So for this last segment, like I said, we're going to start body weight. We're going to go sets of anywhere from 5 to 10. And if it's starting to feel comfortable, you could comfortably do 3 sets of 10 of each. Then I'm going to get you to start adding weight. This is Cal and Coach Bandito for OMSM Training, and we out.